Welcome back, everybody. Sive Morten is here with the Forex Peace Army.com. Let's update our view on the euro currency. And you can see today in the morning we've got this significant downside action, which is actually could make lots of mess in the short-term market performance. As we discussed on the weekend, the grabber that we have here on the daily chart actually takes important place in our trading plan. It gives the confidence because these patterns are just taken out of the stop, and that was one of the actually components of our scenario that we discussed and why we intend to take the long position. This was one of the important patterns. Yes, it's still valid, it is not erased. To erase this pattern, market has dropped below its lows, but with this deep retracement on the lower time frames, market stands dangerously close to the point where the pattern could fail. But at this point, probably it's not a lot to worry about. Since market is coming close to MACD line, this is break-even level of the MACD trend changing. So this indicator shows precisely the price at which MACD lines will cross. So this is break-even of the trend. Above this line, trend is bullish. Below this and below this line, trend is bearish by the MACD. And since it's coming closer, it might happen that within the few sessions we could get another grabbers, if of course market will able to stay above the vital levels. So despite this significant drop, it looks really nasty, but at the same time it could give us some opportunity. So at this point, I would not to worry too much about this. So let's see what will happen. On the fall time frame chart, it's not many things that we could say. Here, this retracement also brings no dangers to the potential butterfly shape, because invalidation point of the butterfly stands right here, below these lows. So market has to move all the way down and break it down to erase the butterfly. Until this happens, whatever retracement will be there, the butterfly will be valid, and market will keep the chance for a possible upward continuation. The problems might be for this minor ABCD pattern, but it's not really, let's call it, it's not the vital extension for our analysis, and actually we just even could not pay attention to this. It's one of the possible targets that we have. Butterfly targets here seems more important. So what we're going to do in the current circumstances when we see this such a big drop? I would keep an eye on the hourly chart, because here is actually the major thing might happen. So first of all, take a look that this is invalidation point of the grabber that we already have in place, right? This is the last support, strong support that stand above this invalidation point, and that keep market for the short-term disaster, let's call it in this way. So market now is trying to break it down already. You can see it's trying to pass it. So the most easy way to deal with this stuff, do nothing and wait. If somehow euro will be able to stay around this area and we will get another grabbers on the daily chart, we just will return back to this question later, consider chances for a possible taking new long position, and so on. That's the first, this most conservative approach to current situation. So if you still prefer to trade aggressively, you could try to take long position here, although it might sounds a bit curious. But take a look. With this downward action, market could try to test this area. One of the patterns that we could get here is a head and shoulders. So it might be shorter. And we'll just use this previous neckline that we do not need anymore, and we'll draw you here. So if even grabber will be erased on the daily chart, it doesn't mean that market can't show the pullback starting forming right arm. And from that standpoint of view, this trade might be not as risky as it seems at the first glance. Besides, these lows agrees with the 50% support of the whole upward action here. So once market will touch it and maybe even erase the grabber, you could keep an eye on what will happen around. So for instance, if on the 5-minute chart, on the 50-minute chart, that will be here minor bullish reversal patterns theoretically you could be used. Of course, you should not take position blindly. So market now is testing, let's go. No, this is wrong because with this side of such an action, it's just suicide to blindly take position when you have this nasty sell-off. But nothing could prevent you from just keep an eye on the 5-minute chart, see what reaction market will be on this support area, whether this will be bullish patterns will be formed. If we'll see anything, and if you will see that market starts forming the right arm of this possible hand shorts, theoretically the position might be taken. So that's probably only things that we could consider for now. Conservative approach, of course, it is safer. It is, maybe we could call it as a preferable in the current circumstances. We do not need to hurry up. Just follow the gradual behavior here. Relax, watch, sit on the hands, see what will happen. If we get 1-2 grabbers on the daily nearest time, that's great. We return back to question of the position taken very soon. If not, if markets keep going lower, then probably we increase the scale. It means that we are getting greater downside retracement, or it will be absolutely different trading setup this way. Speaking about aggressive performance, only for intraday charts. That's not for the daily. This is only for this combination. We just explain what you could do, but actually be careful. This is not best. Let's call it not really a safe and the best way to perform, but very often it could give good result if you use strict risk control factors. This will be probably the minimum risk if you just get the patterns on the 5-minute chart. Risk on the 5-minute chart is very small, but it could work great if markets start showing the pullback. That's the thing that you could keep an eye on this, only if you have enough experience to deal with such setups. So that's probably all that we could say here. Let's keep watching and see what will happen tomorrow.